In the sauna. Welcome to In the Sauna with Dr. Kasey and Payton Lewis.
It's 152 degrees in here. Many topics. We thought today we'd talk about what? UFC?
UFC, yeah.
Man, I don't know if anybody watched that last night, but that's probably the best series of UFC fights I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, there's a couple of fights that are pretty frustrating on what's that one of the fighters' name that they got the fight stopped early?
Lawler. Robbie
Lawler, yeah.
Bald-headed guy. Yeah, he got robbed.
Yeah.
He was gonna.
So that guy was
He's a wrestler. You could see it all the way. When he threw a couple punches, you're like, oh no.
He was trash.
He's going to get killed.
I mean,
It's hard to believe he's 18-0.
I think I could probably have, fought him. Seriously. With my
He kind of swung like.
Yeah, and then he was weird. Like, I feel like I could have definitely fought him, and probably maybe won. He was pathetic. Like, just watching it was pathetic. And he was just holding on to him because he knew he was in his butt kicked.
Well, when he got hit that one time,
thrown in the air,
got rocked, and he's like, oh crap.
What was his name?
Robbie Lawler and Ben Askren.
Yeah, Ben. Yeah, that kid.
Askren.
He should never fight in UFC ever again.
He's a two-time NCAA wrestling champion from Missouri.
Okay, well,
yeah.
He should have lost and should have lost bad. I mean, do you see his face?
They're going to redo it.
That Ben kid's scared, though.
Did you see the body configuration of the two people? It's like Robbie Lawler was just like chiseled. And he was like this doughboy. Pillsbury doughboy. It's like, what?
Yeah, if you guys don't know what UFC is, definitely check it out. It's an extreme sport.
Mixed martial arts.
It's nothing can beat it with toughness and
modern day gladiators.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
He's addicted to it. He watches every day. He gets frustrated when we were struggling on getting the fights on our TV yesterday, and he was struggling. I was like, oh no, he's gonna pop. He's gonna pop.
Because I bought a brand new TV, a 75-inch TV, and it was a smart TV. And they said, oh, you gotta have a smart TV so you can stream it. Well, my other smart TV, I already put the app on it, so I just go click the app, boom, it brings up the events. Well, this one, you can't download another app on it.
Yeah, Vizio
and Samsung, they can't. But yet, I went to Costco, because Costco's got the great return policy. So that's why I got this TV, was, hey, if it isn't what I like, then you take it back. I save the boxes. Did I tell you it's 152 degrees in here? It's hot. I'm having trouble breathing. So the UFC thing, kind of reminds me of, in chiropractic, we have a law. One of the principles, number 24, talks about adaptions of an innate. And it's talking about how you adapt from brain cell to tissue cell to brain cell. And, there's a couple times, like, for instance, Garbrandt and Munoz, I think his name is it Munoz? Yeah. Garbrandt needs to think about possibly retiring because the guy has been KO'd the last 3 times he's been out because he just loses his brain, doesn't fight smart, and just starts throwing haymakers. And yeah, it's exciting to watch. But he got disconnected yesterday, and once he got disconnected, the other guy just finally put him out, in a sense, because you could see that the brain was no longer connected to the body. He was like,
Well, then he dropped. Just like,
Yeah, see, I think the guy's young. He's in his 20s, right? He's got a kid. He's probably got all the money that he needs. And what's he going to be like when he's 40, 50?
But that's the risk they're willing to take, in their job and their career. Like that's what they expected it. I mean,
that's the love of the sport, which I get. I love watching them kill each other. That's exciting. But at the same time, you got to come to a point and be smart and go, okay, I've made enough millions. It's time for me now to be a coach. So he's one guy that I worry about.
That was a great fight, though. Yeah, he got hit. He got hit that one time. Cody did. He got hit that one time, and then something just switched, like you said. His brain was like, all right, fight mode. Let's throw punches, and they started going ham. And then they were ducking, throwing, hitting and missing, and what's the other
down he goes.
Yeah, and then the other guy ducked a little further, missed Cody's punch, then connected his right, and then Cody just
lights a switch.
Fumbled. Yeah.
Brain cell disconnected from tissue.
What I'm very impressed with is that they can still talk afterwards. That's what I'm impressed with. Yeah. They can still talk and they're aware of what happened.
Until they're 40.
And I'm really impressed on that aspect. What number was this on UFC?
235.
UFC 235.
Yeah. And then we go to the 170 pounders, which was Woodley and Usman. And I watched all the trailers up to that fight, and I've never liked watching Woodley because he's like a one-punch wonder. I didn't think he had a whole lot of athletic skill. I mean, compared to some of the other fighters that I know could beat him. And I think he got matched up to a kid that is truly a far better athlete, because Usman dominated him so bad that you could see Woodley's will leave his body. You could see that he knew he was losing. He was gonna lose.
Was Woodley's the coaches that were fighting to Rye, or was that?
Yeah, no. That was the heavyweight. That was John Jones.
John Jones fight. Yeah. Anyway, back to Woodley.
We could just see it in his eyes. Usman was just so athletic and came at him in such a way that he had never had anybody do, because he'd always throw that right hand over haymaker and connect to people, and they'd go, holy crap, that hurt.
But you couldn't even throw that this fight.
No, Usman was such an athlete. He stopped it. He stopped it 5 times.
Yeah, he was throwing elbows. He was throwing
shoulders,
foot kicks.
He hit him in the gut, in the rib. We counted, it was 15 times, and it wasn't it was
Oh, more than that. More than that.
I mean, in that one section there, when he had him up against the fence.
Oh, he did that multiple times during the fight.
I'm saying I'm sorry, that takes the life out of your bodies when you pound the body like that. Because then, guess what? Then he started getting scared. So when Usman would fake down low, hands would drop, and Usman would just take him down again.
He was in control the whole time. Control the whole time.
Yeah.
It was like athlete against, wannabe athlete that trained really hard. I mean, respect.
Yeah.
Because you can do anything in life if you train hard enough for it. Mm-hmm. But when you have an athlete that trains hard and you have a non-athlete that doesn't train as hard, I'm sorry, but they just have that upper edge.
Yeah. That's a shout out to Usman, man. He kicked Woodley's butt. I mean, it wasn't even a fight. Woodley was never in the fight. He was constantly backpedaling, constantly against the fence, constantly throwing haymakers, constantly...
Sorry, it's hot. Nose just running.
Should have brought a towel.
I'm about to take my shirt off. It's so hot in here.
I can't. I'm too fat. Fat people are not allowed to take the shirt off the sun. Not until they're down to a certain weight limit. So that's the goal. The transformation of In the Sauna Podcast. So hopefully by 25, I'll be down 25 pounds and feel better about my...
A pound an episode? There we go.
My, what would you
appearance,
call it? My
figure.
Public appearance. So, then we go to the 205 with John Jones and Anthony. And John Jones made him look like a little puppet. They kept saying, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And we're like, you're forgetting. You're fighting John Jones. John Jones has so many tools in his toolbox that it wasn't even a fight. It was more of just a mauling. He just got mauled. And just think about this. John Jones literally had an off night. Like when he came back after his first suspension, he had an off night and beat the holy crap out of St. Pierre, or whatever his name, not St. Pierre, the guy that played football for University of Tennessee. He just beat the holy crap out of that guy. And he had an off night. Well, he had an off night last night against Anthony, and still
made him look like a child.
Looked like a child. It was like, Anthony, you're not in Bones Jones's, you're not even in his league, not even close. 5 rounds, you just got completely dominated. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was really fun.
But
like that was a fight that like made me look over. I was like, Dad, let's sign up for jiu-jitsu. Just because like I want to just be involved and like learn more about the sport. And that was a fight where you could like literally dissect what they were doing the whole time and like learn from it. Like those fights are fun, and then the fights where they just knock each other out are fun. Well, there's a lot of aspects to the UFC, and that's why we enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
One, we used to wrestle. I used to wrestle when I was younger. He wrestled most of his life, and so we understand what they're kind of doing.
Well, wrestling and martial arts is martial arts. It's 2 different things, but you know, if you're a good athlete and you can do martial arts, you can box and you can kick and you can use your elbows and then you can convert that into wrestling because you have great balance. Man, you're a deadly force, and that's John Jones, man. The guy's got so many tools. He's kicking your knee, he's kicking your shin, he's kicking your thigh, he's kicking your side, he's kicking your freaking head, or he's kicking you in the chest and giving you a heart freaking murmur or palpitations. And that guy last night, I bet you today he woke up like the Michelin Man. He was swollen everywhere.
Oh, and then there's neat that, like, on the verge.
John Jones. I don't think he even. I think one hit hit him.
I think the reason why John Jones was tired because of just fighting in general. Like, if you've never wrestled, like full on, you're up on the ground, you're down on the ground, you're rolling around, you're up throwing punches, you're kicking. That's tiring. That's so tiring. The only reason why he looked like he was tired and it was a hard fight was because he was freaking. It's just fighting. It's hard.
Yeah, that's what happened to Woodley. Woodley's a very big, muscle-bound guy. And Usman was like in his skin. He was is ripped like that. Low body fat, just ripped, just sculptured. And Woodley, when he had to defend himself on the ground like that in wrestling, you get freaking tired. And then he'd get up and he'd have to defend himself wondering where was he coming from. Is he going to shoot? Is he going to kick me? Is he going to punch me? His brain was everywhere. He goes, it was like being in a movie theater. I just couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't because he was all over you. He was. What was that saying? He's a spider monkey.
Yeah,
he's a spider monkey. He was just all over him. Woodley didn't know what to do with himself because this guy.
You've seen his eyes. You're just like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know, man. Who's gonna beat this Usman? He is a stud. It'd be fun to watch him fight that Askin guy. That Askin guy would get he'd come out a bloody pulp. I don't think he'd come out of the first round. He would just be a bloody pulp.
Oh, yeah.
He was going to be a bloody pulp if Lawler wouldn't have got robbed. He would have just annihilated him. Because he was squeezing his head.
The ref was like, you good?
That was an old-fashioned schoolyard headlock. Squeeze the head like you're going to pop the head.
Yeah, and the ref's like, you good? I'm like, the guy can't even hear you. His ear's covered, his mouth's covered. He can't respond to you.
Yeah.
And so, he's going to relax, you know. Frick, ref.
It's hot in here! Holy moly. And I didn't even spray the rocks. Look at my hands. They're like wilted. So freaking hot.
So explain what happens. I mean, those guys are getting punched in the head, kicked in the head. They're getting freaking kicked in the ribs, kneed in the ribs. What's happening to their? I mean, just what happens to the body when you get hit in the head one time? You know, what happens to the brain? What happens to the muscle when the muscle gets hit? You know,
it depends on where the punch is. Like a lot of times you'll see people get hit right here by the ear or in the back of the ear right there. Well, there's a bony structure in the inner ear, the cochlea, and I'm blanking the other one because it's too hot. I can't think. You hit that hard enough, and it sends the gyrus off, and people literally cannot get their balance, right? And then, while they're trying to get their balance, the guy comes in and goes, gush, and hits him in the, in the maxilla, and now the frontal brain slides and goes splonch off the brain bone, because your brain is in this liquid called CSF, right? And then it's got these little teeny little ligaments called dendritic ligaments that are kind of holding the brain in its kind of suspension in a sense. Well, so that you can do things and the brain's not going. Those dendritic ligaments are able to, you know, it's like kind of a gyro in a sense in water being held by some of those ligaments. And they're just really, really micro small. And so when you bash that head or brain matter against the skull, hey, it's like, oh, are we in Kansas total? Where are we? I don't know. You have a loss of like conscious, like, where are we? What am I doing? And you know, you have that done, you know, 4 or 5 good times in a fight, it's over, you're done. No matter, innately, that brawler in you wants to continue to attack and fight, but the brain's going, no, lay down, stay down. And your body's going, no, must get up. Brain's going, no, stay down. And then, you know, it's like the Dillashaw when he fought Cejudo, right? Cejudo probably would have put him into a permanent coma if they would have let that fight go another 15 seconds. Because he was down, he didn't know where he was really, and Cejudo is so powerful, so fast, that if they would have let him pound on Dillashaw just another 10 seconds, yeah, I think he'd be done for a year and a half, because it'd take that long for his brain to heal from that trauma. And the ref did a great thing, he stopped it. And then Dillashaw's like, oh, I got robbed. And then I think he went home and watched the video and went, oh, maybe not.
Yeah, if they would have left it go a little longer, he just kept getting pummeled, you know? Yeah, he was kind of scrambling, you know, his brain was jarred a little bit.
But he couldn't even get up on his feet, like bounce up and go, yeah, let's do this. He was scrambling and Cejudo was just like, okay, I'm going to tee off here. I mean, he could have taken a knee and just crushed his face. And it was just like...
So fast, too.
Yeah, Cejudo, man. That Cejudo is, to me, he's the guy to watch in UFC because he's a stud. Not only is a gold medalist in freestyle wrestling, which that in itself I think is a rarity for the United States, because when it comes to wrestling, there's a lot of Eastern Bloc countries that make America very infantile in its wrestling. I mean, we do collegiate wrestling here all the way through college, but over there, they're doing Greco-Roman and freestyle since they were 2 years old. And it's just what they do there. And so, you know, they're just leaps and bounds ahead of us. Anyway, so John Jones is a brilliant fighter, man. He didn't go in there, and, you know, when he had an opportunity to knock this guy's head off and go full bore. He knew that he was winning, and that he was just going to, you know, stay calm and take his shots. And so he just
get a workout in.
Yeah, he just kept blowing out his knee, blowing out his shin. I mean, I'll bet you his left thigh today, I bet he can't walk on it.
I bet you his left foot's broke.
Oh, he stomped that like 10 times.
I had my dog step on my foot the other day and it was sore for 3 days. My bare foot. I was like, oh. A stomp on your foot? No, thank you.
Yeah, it's a nutty sport. Nutty sport. There's some guys in that sport, you know, they just came from wrestling and they're just warriors at heart, but they're not good athletes. You know, they might have been good at wrestling, but that does not make them an all-around athlete. A lot of my wrestling buddies, they can't even dribble a basketball, let alone run down 5 yards and cut to the right without falling down. It's just a skill thing. They got great balance and they're hearts of warriors, but I wouldn't say wrestlers are your top athletes in the world. But then they get into UFC and they start to learn how to box and do a little martial arts, and
that warrior mentality.
That warrior mentality just really helps them. They get these workouts in that are phenomenal. A lot of times I watch the workouts and just go, oh, I just wish I could do that again. I just want to do that again. Back in the day, you know, when you were a collegiate athlete and doing workouts like that, and, you know, had 8% body fat, and now, and let's talk about that. I'm 56 years old, and there's a lot of people that are my age that they deal with weight just like I do. Why? Because if you're a collegiate athlete or even a professional athlete for a short period of time,
Right here, squeak.
your Gotta fix that. Your brain, I feel, suffers from what's called post-traumatic athletic syndrome. That's what I've termed it. Meaning, when your brain sees that hard work, it goes, nope, not going there again. That hurt. Remember? Remember how your arms felt, how your legs felt, how your lungs felt, and the heart. Oh my gosh, the heart.
The legs.
Is pounding out of your chest. You don't want to do that again. And pretty soon you're sitting in your lounge chair going, yeah, I think you're right. Hey, where'd that caramel corn go? Oh, it's post-traumatic athletic syndrome.
Oh, I just hurt myself.
It is a brain. It's a brain thing like the brain damage.
I mean, yeah.
Brain damage.
If your brain is not in it, like I can attest to this. Like I got hurt. My brain was like, don't do this. Do not run down the runway and pole vault. Yeah. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah. And it showed.
And I couldn't do it. But I was like, yeah, I gotta do this. But my brain was like, you can't do this. Stop.
Yeah. That's what injuries do.
That's what
that's the disconnect. That's the disconnect. Brain cell, tissue cell, brain cell. In chiropractic, we call that the pinwheel cycle. And that's why in my game I see so many professional athletes and collegiate athletes and high school athletes. Is because once you get an injury, it's like, are we going to continue on? Are we going to still be at the top level? Are we going to be at the mediocre level? Or are we just going to be on the team? And that's where I feel, and what chiropractic does for people by reconnecting that brain to body, body to brain issue, that you're allowing the brain and the body to reconnect and heal. And if you don't do that over many traumas, your life expectancy as an athlete is going to be very short. Very short. And that's like with him. We finally had no choice but to get surgery on his shoulder. They had to pin him 3 places because he had a slap tear from 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock on the posterior.
It's tore from my bone.
Labrum, just completely tore from the bone. So they anchor it back down. And he competed that way all season.
Still with the 2 nationals.
And it was
sucked,
it was
but
really,
I still went.
It was really, we're bitter. We're a little bitter because the school he went to, their medical staff, they botched it. They screwed up big time. So here we are moving forward, trying to get his brain back into it, which is got his body weight down, we think is ideal. Now we got to build back up muscle and endurance and speed. And that takes time. Everything takes time.
I mean, yeah, my mental's, I can go right now. I have dreams that I'm like pole vaulting. My mental is there. My shoulder just needs to catch up to my mental right now. Yeah, my heart's beating fast. Is that because it's hot? Like your heart starts beating fast and
we're not exactly relaxing. We're talking, taking in oxygen and letting it out. And your body's going, no, I need to relax. But we're sitting up here on the upper deck and it's 155 almost.
In the front of the room, it's probably 170 back here.
It's hot. There's the heater. It's up front right here. It goes up and boils over like this and down. And let me tell you, how long have we been on doing this? Because I'm about ready to die.
Alright guys, we're going to be done for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this talk.
More to come.
More to come. Stay tuned. If you guys want to have us talk about topics in the sauna and watch us sweat and suffer in the sauna, please comment below, subscribe. Go check out verticalelite.com. Get your shirts. Be the best you.
Yeah.
Deuces.